Hey everybody, I want to show you the latest addition to my little projects. This is a short scale um, ergonomic bass guitar. Don't know how much that's picking up. Um, I want to do a quick one about this. I've been working on this for quite a while, and it's been sitting waiting on me to get back to it. I had the body shape cut out. This is a single piece of cedar. And what I wanted, I'm a guitar player, and I like to play bass. I've got about 4 or 5 basses that I like to play too. But none of them are, super comfortable because of the traditional body shapes that don't sit all that well when you sit and play. So, Mike, if you'll check out my other videos about ergonomic guitars that I've made, I want to do the same thing with a bass. And since I'm a guitar player, short scale basses are more attractive. So this is an Ibanez micro neck. And by the way, the Ernie Ball short scale flat rounds will fit a micro bass guitar. And I like flats. I like the nylon wraps too. So I bought this one piece. It was a big block of cedar. I guess it's eastern red cedar, about 3 inches thick, and been working on these shapes for quite a while. And let me point out a couple of the features that I always like to say that I do to make them as ergonomic for sitting as possible. I mean, they sit so perfectly. It's like you sit. That's how they play. You're just in position already when you sit down with them. So things that I do are the absolute first thing is getting a cut here so that the bridge ends up inside your leg, because that's where your hand kind of is when you sit. It's just such a natural position. It lets you play without throwing your spine or your shoulder angles into an off angle. Everything's kind of square. So that cut is essential. I find that this extreme lower bout is also an essential aspect for support. It provides a platform for it to sit comfortably and levelly. The neck angle is again about roughly 35 degrees. I just stained this yesterday. I use shellac. What I do, I put 2 coats on yesterday. One kind of a yellow tinted, and one with a little, I added red to the yellow to get a kind of an orange thing going. And what I do is I mix just a little shellac. It's probably 50-50 shellac and pure grain alcohol. And I happen to use amber shellac on this, but I tint it with magic marker. I've got one solution of pure grain alcohol and yellow magic marker, and another with red magic marker. And those I add to my shellac base to make a tint. And so this goes on really thin. It goes on quick, it absorbs quick, and then I'll go back over this with maybe just straight amber shellac, cut just a little bit with alcohol, so it goes on thicker, and it'll end up being very shiny and glossy and a little bit darker than it is now. But so I put 2 shades of 2 coats of tint on it yesterday, and I worked on it a lot yesterday. I drilled these out. I put it on my drill press and got as deep as I could with that. I had not drilled the neck out, the neck pocket bolts, so I did that yesterday, and kind of wallered them out with it's a barrel-shaped bit with teeth all around. They're very cheap, but it was a perfect diameter to allow those washers that Ibanez uses for their bass guitars to fit down in there perfectly. I really got lucky putting this one together. Here's where the jack will go. Let me turn this around this way. So I cut a belly contour. I also like to contour here and here so that the neck or the body of the base of the guitar rolls toward your body rather than away from it. Those cuts allow that. I've drilled with a long bit from here underneath the bridge from my ground and to access the input jack. The input jack goes back here out of the way. So it's a little bit of a pain to run controls here and output jack here, but it's worth it because it really puts the jack out of the way when you're playing. The jack's back here and the controls are here where they should be. So everything's like it should be. I think economically, people who mass produce guitars, they want to put everything here, and that's convenient. That's an economical way to do it, but it doesn't serve the player very well because a jack down here when you're sitting is just a bad location. So what else? I think that's about it. I know there's another thing or two I wanted to say, but I'll revisit this when I put another few coats of shellac to gloss this up, and I probably will leave it this tint. I got to do some steel woolen to prep the body a little bit more before I shellac it, but that's kind of it. And I'll put another video out soon. Check out my other videos on these ergonomic guitars, and put it out a video a while back about how I go about designing them. So check that out. Everybody have a good day.